Hi, my name is Sarah and I'm one of the assistant naturalists here at Sequoia State Park. Today we are going to do a craft and a story time with Miss Gay Sandwick, and we provided a list of supplies you would need beforehand. So if you have those ready, we have a toilet paper roll, some googly eyes, a stapler, some scissors, some yarn, some glue, and some red and some green paint. I hope you all can see this. So today we're going to do a little craft and talk about frogs and toads. I have my lovely assistant Trevor here. He just had himself some breakfast. So if you can see Trevor, don't jump away. Trevor is an American toad, and he's one of the residents here at Three Forks Nature Center. So let's go ahead and get started. I hope my paint's good. I shook it up really good before. There we go. All right. So you're going to take your toilet paper roll and paint the outside of it green and just inside the inside red. So you don't have to go all the way in, just around where the mouth would be. Oh, I got paint on my finger. Should have grabbed a paper towel. So a lot of people know the life stages of frogs and toads in like a general sense. So thank you. So frogs lay eggs and toads lay eggs, and they lay them in masses, like a gelatinous mass. Toads lay them like a string, and frogs lay them in like a clump, I guess you could call it. And the difference between toads and frogs are more aquatic, for one. So you'll see more frogs in, say, ponds, and toads are more warty, and you see them more terrestrially. And they all go through life stages that involve water and land, which is why they're amphibians. So as toads or frogs lay their eggs, they go through several changes. When the eggs hatch, they are tadpoles, or often called polywogs. Our story today involves polywogs. And they turn into a froglet. So they look like they have one little head and a tail, and they swim. And as they get a little bigger and turn to froglet, their gills start to be covered by skin, and they start developing lungs. And little leg buds start to appear. And as they go through this change, they're eating like algae and things like that. So they have little mouths and little eyes. I'll paint my outside. See, I painted the inside just around the edges there. And that way, I can hold it this way and not get paint all over my hand. So as the frog grows, it starts to lose its tail. It basically absorbs its tail. It's not losing its tail. And its legs get longer, and it spends more time out of water. And eventually, it loses its tail, or it absorbs its tail completely and becomes what we know of as a frog or toad, whichever species. We have several different species here in Oklahoma. You may hear them at night, especially right now, especially if you have a pool or if you're near a pond or a creek. We have tree frogs. We have, I called them bullfrogs growing up. They're like leopard frogs, toads. Trevor here is our toad. We don't have any tree frogs anymore, but we used to. So I hope you all guys can hear me. This paint's taking a little bit to go on. So once I get this painted, we're going to have a chance for a story, and Miss Gay here is going to read to you so while it dries. Let's see, did I miss any information? So, frogs have a lot of cool ways that they breathe. I always found this interesting. So they breathe not only through their lungs as adults, but they also breathe through their skin. So their skin is kind of like porous, and they're able to respirate through their skin as well, which is why they need that moisture. And they also have some respiratory capabilities in their mouth as well, and you'll see them breathe. They'll lower that chin, that like under fleshy side, and they'll breathe it, suck in air through their nares. You wouldn't think it'd take this long to paint toilet paper roll. Toilet paper roll. I say that funny. So, okay. So I'm going to allow this to dry. Shouldn't take very long, but luckily you don't get to watch paint dry today. We have our lovely Miss Gay, who is a retired librarian, and she is great at her job, and she has a story for all the kids. So I'm going to slide this out of her way so she doesn't get paint on her books. Carefully. And she's going to take over.
Good morning, boys and girls. I hope you all have your paint ready to dry. No, I don't want to watch it, and I don't want you to have to either. So today we're going to do a couple of books that are about some relatives of our friend Trevor here. The first one is called The Caterpillar and the Pollywog. Our book today is written and illustrated by Jack Kent, one of my very favorite authors. Caterpillars are not like other folks. As ducks and hippopotamuses and you and I get older, we get bigger, especially the older part. Especially, though, the hippopotamus. But not caterpillars. No, sir. Caterpillars, they turn into butterflies. Turning into something else like that is not a thing that just anybody can do. It's pretty special. Down by the pond, there lived a caterpillar who was very proud of being different. She bragged about it to all of her friends. When I grow up, I am going to turn into something really special, she told the snail. Well, that's nice, said the snail, who really didn't care one way or the other. When I grow up, I am going to turn into something else, she told the turtle. Well, I don't blame you for that, said the turtle, who didn't much like wiggly things like caterpillars. When I grow up, I am going to turn into something else, she told the pollywog. What fun, said the pollywog. What are you going to turn into? But the caterpillar hurried on her way, looking for someone else to tell her secret to. I wish I could turn into something else when I grow up, said the pollywog. But you will, said the fish. I promise. All pollywogs do. Really? What am I going to turn into? The pollywog asked. But the fish saw a tasty bug and dashed off to get it. When I grow up, said the caterpillar, who had circled the pond and was going around for the second time. When I grow up, she told the pollywog again, I'm going to turn into something very special. Well, so am I, said the pollywog. You? The caterpillar was so surprised she almost fell into the pond laughing. The fish said so. He promised, the pollywog told her. Fish do know things. They go to fish school. The caterpillar was upset. I thought only caterpillars could do it, she said rather sadly. I thought I was special, just me. Well, what are we going to turn into? The pollywog asked. Well, I am going to turn into a beautiful butterfly with wings like this, said the caterpillar. Well, then, I guess I will too, said the pollywog. What fun! Let's do it together. All right, said the caterpillar as he agreed, although she would rather have done it alone. But I get to go first, she said. The pollywog didn't mind. He wasn't at all sure how it was done. Okay, I'll watch you, he said. So when the time came, the caterpillar started to spin a cocoon. Now, this is the tricky part for me, she said. The pollywog watched as the caterpillar spun, and soon only her head was uncovered. Now I have to close the lid, she said, and when I come out, I will be a beautiful butterfly. Go ahead, said the pollywog excitedly. I want to see you do it. Well, it'll take a while, the caterpillar warned. She started spinning again and was soon out of sight in the cocoon. For a long time, nothing happened. But Pollywog was patient. He watched and he watched and he watched. He watched for days, days and days and days. And at last, there was activity in the cocoon. The end of it opened up, and very, very slowly, the caterpillar climbed out. Only she wasn't a caterpillar anymore. She was a butterfly, a beautiful yellow butterfly. The pollywog was so excited that he hopped up and down with delight. Wait a minute. He hopped up and down like a frog. I was so busy watching you, he said, I didn't even notice what was happening to me. You're a very handsome frog, the butterfly said, as she flew off to try her new wings. But the frog was puzzled. I thought I was going to be a butterfly, he said. Oh, a caterpillar wiggled by. When I grow up, he said proudly to the frog, I'm going to turn into something else. But the frog wasn't listening. He was admiring his own reflection in the water. I am, you know, a very handsome frog. Okay, I have one more short one for you before we see if your paint has dried. This is called The Wide-Mouthed Frog, and it's by Keith Faulkner. Hello, I'm a wide-mouthed frog, and I eat flies, and I have a long, sticky tongue. As he hopped along, he met a blue feathered bird. Hello, I'm a wide-mouthed frog, and I eat flies, said the wide-mouthed frog. What do you eat, bird? Well, let's see. I eat wiggly worms, and I eat slugs. Ah, the bird said, snapping his pointy beak. Next, the wide-mouthed frog met a funny brown mouse. Hello, I'm a wide-mouthed frog, and I eat flies, said the wide-mouthed frog. What do you eat, mouse? Well, let's see, I eat crunchy seeds and juicy berries, replied the mouse, wiggling her whiskers. The wide-mouthed frog was still catching flies when he saw a big, green alligator. Hello, I'm the wide-mouthed frog, and I eat flies, said the wide-mouthed frog. What do you eat, Mr. Alligator? I eat delicious, wide-mouthed frogs, replied the alligator, showing his sharp, white teeth. The wide-mouthed frog stopped catching flies, and he gulped, and then he puckered his lips, and he made his mouth as small as he possibly could. Oh, you don't see many of those around here now, do ya? He said. And with that, he leaped into the pond with a big splash to safety. Thank you. Okay, Miss Sarah will come and see how your craft is going.
Oh my gosh, isn't she great? That story was awesome. And I know my little ones would have loved it. So it looks like I may be purchasing some frog books in my future. So now our paint is mostly dried, close enough. So what we're going to do is we're going to pinch this end not the end with the red, but the other end. Pinch it. Where's my stapler? And staple it. You know, it's good to make sure your stapler has staples. We'll pretend it does. We'll glue it. So, a little bit of glue, a little hot glue, always does the trick. Oh, there it goes. It is hot glue. So kids, make sure your parents are helping because we don't want any little fingers burned today. Oops. All right. So next we are going to cut some little legs. I have this green piece of paper here, and so that my legs are the same, I'm just going to fold it in half and some scissors. Just going to cut a little leg. So I'll show you, hope I get this right, what it's going to look like. Kind of question mark like. Doesn't have to be perfect. So frogs have very well-developed legs. They're very muscular for their relative size. So just like that, just some little legs. And those legs are very powerful and they use those to hop. So think of it kind of like a spring. So the force they need is like a spring and it just pushes them up off the ground. And it's very important that they have those. Just gonna glue it to the side to escape predators or to chase after their prey. And their prey consists of invertebrates like, beetles. Like today, Trevor here had some cockroaches, which sounds kind of gross, but they are, I can't remember the species. They're like specifically just to feed the frogs and toads around here. Or some crickets or a moth, hopefully not his butterfly friend. So let's get a couple little googly eyes and give them some little eyes. My hands are kind of shaky. Maybe I had too much coffee this morning. Okay. My eyes might not be super symmetrical, but close enough. Now I have a piece of yarn here. You can use twine or whatever you have on hand. Just cut a little piece off, no measuring needed. And I have this little foam star, and it's going to be glued onto the end of this string. Trying to read the comments. If you guys have any questions, feel free. I'll answer them as I can. Don't burn your finger. And then, stuck to my finger. So then just put a strip of glue inside the mouth of the frog here. And then glue your piece of yarn to it. Once again, don't burn your finger. And then there you have it. You have your little frog, a piece of glue, this little string. You can make it like a game for the kids, like that cup game. Clearly I'm not that great at it, but there's your craft for the day. A little frog with his tongue.
I think that's a wide-mouthed frog.
I think that is a wide-mouthed frog. Think he flies? Well, there you go, guys. From Gay, Trevor, and I, we thank you all for tuning in and welcome you to Sequoia State Park and visit the Three Forks Nature Center. We still are under restrictions, so we are closed from noon to 1, open 9 to 4, Monday or Tuesday through Sunday. Also, we are limiting group sizes to 8 or less because there's always 2 of us in here, so it keeps our groups at 2, and that way we can better assist the people who are in without overcrowding and trying to reduce the spread of the COVID-19 during this pandemic, but still serve our people. So we are looking forward to seeing you. Unfortunately, we were unable to do any crafts in person, but this way we can interact with you digitally, and we hope you join us next Saturday when we have another craft and story. Thank you.